Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Psalms 37 and verse 4. And so I think we have all at one time or another felt this thing called desire. At one time, you have had this burning passion within you for something or for someone. It actually feels like, butterflies in your belly, like this passion within you, intense, and goosebumps for something or someone, something. Maybe it may be a career you desire. It may be chocolate. It may be, like I say, the person. No, and for someone, something that when you think about it, gives you butterflies. It gives you goosebumps, and you have such an intense passion for that thing that actually it almost feels like if you can't have it, you will die until you have it. Well, that is called desire. And so, because desire comes with such an intense passion, it comes with such an intense burning passion. Uh, it comes with an edge of instant gratification. It always feels like this has to be, this desire I have must be fulfilled right now. It comes with the edge of instant gratification because of this passion and intensity that it carries with it. And so, yeah, that is desire actually. And so, because of this, we make the mistake of thinking that because of this burning passion I have and intensity of desire and these butterflies I'm feeling, we always anticipate that this thing that I'm so wanting, so you can call it badly, must happen now. I must have it now. Or you can be like Esau, who said, I must have it now or I'll die. That is how desire, actually, how far desire can go. And so, but desire is not always fulfilled instantly. Just because you desire something so bad with such intense passion and urge does not mean that you're going to have that desire fulfilled instantly. You won't always have it immediately, because there's what is called sometimes that there's a space between the time that you have the desire and the time that that desire is actually fulfilled. There's that space. And it is that space where actually the challenge is. The space from the time you have the desire to the time when the desire is actually fulfilled. There's that space there. And it is that space actually where the challenge is. That is where most people give up on their desire. Most people, get frustrated, they get angry, doubts creep in, all kinds of things actually creep in. And so I think that it is important that we learn how to steward or manage desire, if I can call it that way. I think it's important that we learn how to steward our desires so that we are seeing them fulfilled. Because I believe that some of the desires that we have not seen fulfilled is not because God didn't want to fulfill those desires or to perform them or to give us the desires of our hearts. I think that, like I mentioned, sometimes, sorry for that thunder, it's raining outside. Yeah, so I think that one of the reasons actually is not that God does not want to fulfill or to give us the desires of our hearts. I think sometimes it's a lack of knowing how to manage our desire from the time we have it until the time it is actually fulfilled. It is not all the time that just because you have this burning desire for something and you want it so badly, it is not that it's going to happen immediately or instantly. There's always that space in between. And that is what we need to learn and to navigate that well, so that we get to the place where we see our desires fulfilled because we did not give up or because we did not, along the way, because of frustration and doubt, we did not suppress or kill or bury our desires and brush them off, thinking they will never happen, it will never come to pass. And so, yeah, and that is what we want to talk about. And so, yeah, the first thing I would say before we can even get into like learning how to manage and steward that desire until it is fulfilled is that, first of, most people, because when they get into that space where they have the desire, the passion, the intensity is there, but then what they're desiring is not coming to pass, it is not being fulfilled. And so most people, what they do in that space is doubt will creep in and they'll begin to think, well, maybe this will never happen. Maybe I'm just delusional. Maybe this is impossible. So all kinds of doubts, uh, plus the suggestions of outside voices. If you are one, you've made the mistake of even telling people about your desire or your dream, then there's all these suggestions of how perhaps it cannot happen, how it is impossible. And then you find yourself into that space. What tends to happen is that a lot of people begin to numb or suppress their desire. They slowly begin to bury that desire and put it away somewhere, hoping that it will go away and the frustration will stop. Then they no longer have to deal with, just that. I don't know. There's that nudge that comes with desire that you just want to have this thing. And so you slowly begin to bury your desire, you slowly begin to, suppress or numb it, which is, I believe, a disservice to yourself and a disservice to your emotions, because desire is actually an emotion, a good emotion at that. It is a good emotion that must not be ignored or buried or suppressed or condemned or shamed. It is a good emotion. And so you do yourself a disservice to your emotions if you start to numb your desires and suppress them and ignore them for fear that they may not happen, it will not take place. And so I think in that space and in those moments, we need to remember, I quoted Psalms 37 and verse 4. There the Bible says, delight yourself in the Lord. He will give you the desires of your heart. And so there it's not just God giving you what to desire. It also means that when you have the desire for something, God is the one that is going to perform the fulfillment of what you are desiring. It is God's part to perform that thing that you are desiring. And I think that we forget that sometimes. We get the desire, yes, but then we get carried away and we forget that it is God's part. It is God's job actually to bring that desire to fulfillment, to bring it to pass. And so because we forget that, like I said, we think of it as an impossible thing. It will never happen because it seems like it's delaying, and there's all kinds of doubts that will creep in that space if you don't watch yourself. And so you need to remember to say the desire that you have for whatever it is you have, that desire, not only has God given it to you, but it is God who is going to perform the fulfillment of that desire. And I think right there, there's a game changer there. It changes our perspective when there's that, delay of that desire being fulfilled. It changes that perspective because you are going to wait differently. You're going to wait differently, knowing that the part of fulfilling that desire, bringing it to pass, is not yours. It is God's part. It is God's power. No wonder always that desire will always seem too big and impossible for it to happen. It's because there's God's part in it. And so we need to be remembering that, so that it can help us, like I said, to steward our desire well, because then even when it seems like it's delaying, we are looking to God. We are trusting that God is the one that will perform our desire. And so, yeah,